Philosophy 101, Advaita Vedanta. So this is the main philosophy of Hinduism, the oldest religion in the world, and my personal religion, and I personally follow Advaita Vedanta. Vedanta is the main one of the main orthodox schools of Hinduism, and Advaita Vedanta is the main, most famous school of Vedanta, and it is most predominant in the Bhagavad Gita. You know, I think it is best summarized by this passage of the Bhagavad Gita. When your mind has overcome the confusion of duality, you will attain a state of holy indifference to things you hear and things you have heard. Uh, when you are unmoved by the confusion of ideas and your mind is completely united in deep samadhi, you will attain the state of perfect yoga. So, what does this all mean? So, the main idea of Advaita Vedanta is the idea that our reality is created by consciousness, the Brahman, you know, so thus is non dual, as it's all consciousness. And thus, once we realize this, once we realize that all our reality is simply consciousness, it's all an illusion of the mind. Well, rather, kind of an illusion of a hive mind. I guess a modern equivalent would be a simulation theory, but except it's an ancient theory, but it's like once you realize it's all an illusion of a mind, or rather a multiplicity of minds, you realize that, it's all the Brahman. It's all the illusion of one great big mind. Once you realize it's the Brahman, it's not like, when I say mind, it's not like a mind like a mind we think of. It doesn't think the way we think. It's explicitly described as not having senses. It's not a mind like we think of. But anywho, but no, once you realize that the Brahman is an illusion created by this great mind, once you realize this, you realize that all these, distinctions and all that, you realize like all these arbitrary things, and that you're just a part of this great big thing. And just realize this, unity with this thing, and you kind of attain unity with it, if you know what I mean. And you just and that's how you kind of attain enlightenment, by realizing your oneness with it all. Once you realize it's all an illusion and you achieve oneness with the universe, that's how realize it's all one big non-dual reality. That's how you achieve enlightenment. Also through acts of selfless service and, and generally just being a good person. That's also how you attain enlightenment. And also through meditation and all that. So it's generally a good philosophy to live by, and it's the philosophy I've based myself on. So the simple doctrine of Advaita Vedanta is simply, you are reality staring back at itself. Or as the Upanishads say, Tattvam Asi, you are that. This has had major effect on both Eastern and even Western philosophy, like Spinoza, Hegel, and Schopenhauer all have major philosophy that reflects the influence of Vedanta, So yeah, so the general pantheism of Advaita Vedanta has had a major influence, especially since it was brought over by figures like Ramakrishna and Swami Vivekananda through the Vedanta Society in the late Victorian era.